for you that should justify the entire architectural overhaul of the human skull in the blink of evolutionary time? Well, turns out the prefrontal cortex does lots of things, but one of the most important things it does is it is an experience simulator. You know, pilots practice in flight simulators so that they don't make real mistakes in planes. Human beings have this marvelous adaptation that they can actually have experiences in their heads before they try them out in real life. This is a trick that none of our ancestors could do.
Who is this guy?
Can do quite like we can. It's a marvelous adaptation. It's up there with opposable thumbs and standing upright in language as one of the things that got our species out of the trees and into the shopping mall. Now, all of you have done this. I mean, you know, Ben & Jerry's doesn't have liver and onion ice cream, and it's not because they whipped some up, tried it, and went yuck. It's because without leaving your armchair, you can simulate that flavor and say yuck before you make it. Let's see how your experience simulators are working. Let's just run a quick diagnostic before I proceed with the rest of the talk. Here's two different futures that I invite you to contemplate, and you can try to simulate them and tell me which one you think you might prefer. One of them is winning the lottery. This is about $314 million. And the other is becoming paraplegic. So just give it a moment to need a moment of thought. And interestingly, there are data on these two groups of people, data on how happy they are. And this is exactly what you expected, isn't it? But these aren't the data. I made these up. These are the data. You failed the pop quiz and you're hardly 5 minutes into the lecture. Because the fact is that a year after losing the use of their legs and a year after winning the lotto, lottery winners and paraplegics are equally happy with their lives. Now, don't feel too bad about.
Well, good morning, Wolfpack. I'm sorry about a little techie piece, but I wanted to show you and have you listen to that video about the science behind happiness to open up our webinar today. And there's something true, really, that I'd like to continue our theme. But good morning, everybody. Today is October 9th, 2019.
Good morning.
I want to welcome Sabrina and Sequoia. We've got Tim. We also got Nico in the studio today. Good to see you. We have Natalie, who's just joined us also. Jelani, good morning. Okay, we have Jelani also. Kiara, I don't know if that's Kiara Smith or Kiara Goldnick. Would you please weigh in? Okay, all right. So, well, good to see you, Crystal. Good morning, Skyla. We also have Austin in the house and Bree. Good morning, everybody. Hey, just a really, wow, a mouthful there. I just walked out of the middle schooler students. Maybe that's the wow, right? I was just with a middle school class doing filmmaking, and we were lining up their how to storyboard their mission on their project on FIRST Robotics. And I was talking to them about a process. The process of making film isn't just showing up with a camera and shooting. And I got thinking about, wow, that ties in perfectly with what we're working on. Learning is a process. Learning and really the patience you need to have in that is huge. And so it's part of the piece I want to kind of bring out to us today about the process. And I'll do that by sharing out today's screen. But before I do so, I want to do a little shout-out bragging moments. Could I do that, please? Could I brag for a moment? Someone give me permission. Yes, you can. Someone say yes, you can. No? Okay. Well, I'm going to brag a moment, and I want to brag about Kenny Jewett. Kenny Jewett, we just ran a senior audit, has done a phenomenal job the last 6 months, and we're looking like real close at Kenny Jewett. We're looking to get Kenny Jewett to start college in January. So we're talking about graduating early and getting after it. He went online this summer and stayed online. And really proud of the work that he has done. So congratulations, a proud moment, Kenny Jewett. All right. Hey, also I've asked Kenny to kind of come on and talk to us a little bit next week. He's going to be doing a college visit and I asked him to be kind of a little guest speaker, talking to us about what were some of the success pieces about becoming successful virtually. So he really made his work was really what he did on the online piece. So if you know Kenny, reach out to him. Hey, I also want to point out to Tim, Sequoia, and Nico. Can you guys hear me out there? Unmute your mic.
Yeah.
Awesome. A little I really kind of excited, basically looking at not only your transcripts, but we're working on getting some job opportunities, not just for all students. I want you to know I'm in the process of communicating with Michigan Works, who said they'll come in and work with Manpower, and I want you to know that that's huge.
I'm not going to hear me.
Virtual. But what I want to talk about Tim and Sequoia and Sabrina, we did a little tour today of the building and really got a deeper look at what we have here at G2 and how that could help your individual project plan. So I want all of you to start thinking about what does that look like. It's one of the major pieces that I want to work with you. And it's on the screen right now called the IPP form. And if you're interested in doing an individual project plan that may be building, creating, or even in Nico's case, he's working at the Daily News. How could my work experience help me with some of my school credits? So let's start that conversation real soon, especially for some of you out there that, hey, we got the end of our first marking period coming up. Maybe that's something we want to start designing deeper right now for that marking period, or can it help me credit recovery now? So I want to bring that up and kind of give a shout out to those guys about some thinking and process on that. Would you like to add anything else or any questions you may have? Anybody else on that topic? What do you mean by work base? I'm not sure. Any clarity? Okay. I also want to talk to everybody, even those who are right now in the milieu. Please look for Wendy's. If you haven't done so, please do that ASAP. Crystal's already submitted. The only one that's really submitted one that I've approved. I need to talk to Crystal about that. Setting some goals right now in our webinar. I made a copy for you individually for you to click on and start setting some short-term goals before the end of this marking period. So think about academic goals and personal goals you can measure. You've got to get that pushed out, and I'd like to kind of establish that by the 31st of October or sooner. And I'd like to talk to Crystal immediately after this about her. Any clarification on that, or questions you may have as far as what that means? I'm going to have that up there every single day this week. All right. So also, it's not on our agenda today, but it is on my radar. All of you are required to take NWEA testing. There's reading, there's the writing piece that today for those students who are here, that's probably one of the, I will be working with you in the next few weeks of getting that completed and compiling that data for you coming up. So I want to keep that as a reminder to all of you. All right. Hey. Have your volume up if you want to just mute your volume on your computer because we're picking up a lot of the backgrounds. I want our webinar to be more two-way conversations, and I was talking to Kenny Jewett today about doing that and getting students more involved with this process in our webinar, but I know lately it sounds like I'm pushing out and you're just, man, I don't know, listening. I'd like to more of your feedback on this. So I'm good point, if you would, if you can't find it, there is a, where is it? There is an option. I'm going to click off here. There is an option to have feedback, a chat channel. If you look at the very bottom, there is a chat channel. It's down here on your, please leave me a chat. It's private, so no worries. Leave me some feedback on how we can make this webinar. You are required to do 3 out of 5 because I think the important part about it is we're connecting. Those who are graduating early or doing things, they stay connected. Those who are staying connected do complete coursework. So give me some ideas. So feel free to throw a chat out there. It's right, I think it's, I don't know if it's on your computer. Mine's right here. Click on the chat. Drop me a little chat, an idea, anytime you want during our webinar. So I wanted to throw that at you. All right, I want to wrap up our webinar with this. It's called Win the Day. It's about happiness. And I opened up and showed you the science. It's just, I'm sorry, I had some problems with, you couldn't see the video all the time, and maybe you're distracted by that. I apologize. But there's a science behind, and what he was trying to talk is about how humans differ than animals. The science behind our ability to reason and choose. Truly, I'll say it one more time. The ability for us as humans, that's the science behind it, the brain research, about us choosing joy, choosing happiness. Why should I be here? What does that have to do with school? It has a lot to do with school. It has a lot to do with school, work, relationships. And so his piece was into a deeper piece, and I'm not going to do it today, was really the science behind happiness and joy that gets us to control or win the day. And I have a piece later on I'm going to share with you called Win the Day. And when I came into work today, I do this every day, by the way, and it doesn't guarantee me that I'm going to be doing cheetah flips in the middle of you. It's not a great day.
Oh, good.
Good. Nico's going, good. I don't want to see a cheetah flip out here, right? You ain't going to see this old fart do a flip. I'm going to tell you that right now, okay? But truly, behind that is choice, and it's about winning the day. You win the day, you win the week. You win the week, you win the month. You string a couple months together, a couple weeks together, you win a couple months. Suddenly you start to see those changes in your life happen overnight, but you keep focusing on just the day ahead of you. You start stringing enough days ahead of you, like I said earlier, you win the week, the month. Next thing you know, half of your life or half of the year, you're won. You look back and say, holy cow, I'm starting to achieve. I'm starting to feel better about who I am. And maybe I'm feeling healthier and stronger. And just by one focus, choosing joy, choosing happiness, and win the day. And that's what that video piece gets into. And how do you do that? That's not easy. I don't care who you are, how old you are, most of us, and even adults I know today, allow the day to control them. And they're not winning the day. I'm going to win the day today because I came to the mindset when I got up in the morning. Now when I walk into school, I decided the moment I rolled out of bed. And I'll tell you more about it. At the end of the day, I'll tell and say, hey, you know what? I won the day today because of these 4 things I'm really grateful for. Now, you can say, Mr. Quinlan, you need therapy or medication? Fine, I probably do. But I'm telling you what, when I talked about Kenny Jewett, Kenny and I we talked about winning the day. He's winning the day one day at a time. When I sat and I listened to Kenny Jewett today, just outside the milieu, and he's talking about going and enrolling at Lake Superior State, that you wouldn't even thought he was going to graduate in G2S 6 months ago. He's winning the day, and he's winning each day, and he did it virtually. He did it with a combination of showing here and face-to-face, and he did it online. And he did it with support and love, but you're going to need that support and love, but he did it. So I'm really proud to share that with all of you more in detail later. But I'm not going to get into these critical questions, but these are great critical questions that I'm going to kind of kick off more tomorrow. But I'd like to challenge you as we leave our webinar today. Are you winning your day? And if not, what are you doing to change the course of your day? It's no one else's. And there's our circumstances that are impacting it. I get it. As I do too, because if you have a pulse, you got issues. We all have it. So I want to thank everybody for continually staying connected. It's real important, not only me personally, whether it is, hey, here's what's going on in virtual learning, but hopefully maybe just give you some hope and share some inspiration that, hey, there are people like you who are doing it. I'm looking out that milieu, meeting Tim and Sequoia and even Sabrina coming in today helps me win my day because we're connecting, we're trying to show things that make it possible so we can help each other, and myself included. So to me, that wins my day. So I'm looking forward to working with you today. Any of you want to reach out, text me. Crystal, if you just stay on the line after the webinar, I want to have a chat with you. And please, reach out to me. We can have private one-on-ones. Good to see you here today, Bree. And also, don't forget, if you miss a webinar and you got to stay compliant, don't forget to go on to this channel right here. Click on home. You'll see the ones that you get called up on. It's great to see students who are doing that, who may miss a webinar but are kind of checking out on our Canvas account. Hey, stay connected, everybody. Are there any other concerns, questions, or wonderings you have before we sign off? Please, let me hear you. That's that awkward silence again. All right, Jasmine, good to see you out here today. Let's hear from you. Send me a text when we can do. Make sure you're all maintaining your face-to-face day. That's a great day. Even if that day looks like a half a day, let's make sure we're connected face-to-face once a week, too. Hey, continue to stay connected, everybody. Look forward to chatting with you tomorrow.